Here we're being asked to divide and simplify two rational expressions. The first thing to do, I need to flip the divisor of the second fraction or second rational expression and change this to multiplication. Now what my job is to factor each numerator and each denominator separately. What I'm looking to do is to see if there's any common factors I can cancel before I multiply this out. I want to emphasize in this video, I'm going to use some tricks to make this easy. What I'm first going to do is factor the easiest of all these polynomials. That by far is this numerator right here. X squared minus 16 is the difference of squares. And that factors into an x plus 4 times an x minus 4. Now what I'm going to do is I'm expecting that one of those two factors is going to cancel with one of the factors in either of these denominators. I'm going to use this information to quickly factor each of these with the guess and check. Okay, now that I have that factored, I have a bit more information. I'm expecting either one of these factors to be factors of these quadratics right here. This one is not a candidate because the plus and minus 4 aren't factors of this constant of 3 right here. But this 8, the 4 is a factor of the 8, and so I'm going to work with that. Using the guess and check, I want to build this using one of these. I know that the factors of this, the second terms, must both be negative because this is a positive. They have to be the same sign, but since this is a negative middle term, they both must be subtractions, and so I'm going to use the x minus 4. Again, I don't know for sure that this will work, but I'm going to use this information to see if I can quickly factor this. If x minus 4 is one of these factors, well then the first term of this factor must be a 5x. That's because these two terms have to multiply together to give me a 5x squared. Then the same thing for the second term. This term times this term have to multiply to be this positive 8. So if I make this a negative 2, the negative 2 and the negative 4 will give me a plus 8. So I've built this using the guess and check so that the lead term and the constant term are taken care of. The only question is, do I get the middle term of negative 22? And to do that, I multiply these two together, which would give me a negative 20x, and these two together to get a negative 2x. And lo and behold, that does become negative 22x. This is the factored form of this quadratic right here. Well, that worked out well and was pretty quick. Now I'm going to keep doing that same concept. I'm going to look at each one of these factors. One of these could be a factor for this one up here. Again, I'm looking for this combination of numerators to denominators. When I look at these two factors, this is not a candidate because the negative 4 is not a factor of the 6, but the negative 2 is a factor of 6. So I'm going to again guess that 5x minus 2 is one of these factors. I will build the other factor to get the lead and the constant coefficients. In this case, 5x times x would give me the 5x squared. Negative 2 times negative 3 would give me a positive 6. Last thing to do is to check for this middle term right here. This becomes a negative 2 and a negative 15. Negative 2 plus negative 15 is the negative 17. That's the factored form there. Continuing the same action, this would be the candidate for a factor of this because the negative 3's agree. So x minus 3. And then in this term right here, I need again a 5x to give me 5x squared. And this right here must be a plus 1 to get the negative 3 times the plus 1 is the negative 3 right there. Now I just need to check my middle term here. I have a 5x and the negative 3 is negative 15x plus the 1x that is negative 14. All right, I've done all of the tough work. Now is for the fun of canceling factors. Let me rewrite this real fast. So this is my new numerator up here. My denominator is 5x plus 1 times x minus 3. Over here I have x plus 4 times x minus 4, and then 5x minus 2 times x minus 4. Now all I need to do are cancel these common factors. I have this 5x minus 2 cancels with that 5x minus 2. The x minus 3's cancel. The x minus 4's cancel, and I think that is it. What I'm left with is an x plus 4 factor in the numerator and this 5x plus 1 in the denominator. That is my completely simplified quotient. Quick review of what we did there. What we did was first take care of the division by flipping the divisor and changing this to multiplication. Then the work was to factor all the numerators and denominators. This video was focusing on kind of being efficient and quick with that as we could. I first factored the easiest of these four. When I had some factors, I was trying to figure out maybe, possibly, probably, one or both of those factors will be factors of these denominators in this case, and quickly worked through factoring those. Finally, canceling all the common factors between the numerators and denominators, multiplying everything together to give me my final simplified product.